Hey everyone, and welcome. Let's just jump right in and talk about one of the biggest, most universal frustrations of modern life: terrible Wi Fi. You know what I'm talking about. That spinning buffering wheel, the video call that keeps freezing, that one room in your house where the internet just seems to completely die. We have all been there. Well, today we're going to dive deep into the tech that promises to fix all of that: mesh networks. We're going to break down how they actually work. So, yeah, are you just sick and tired of those Wi Fi dead zones? You know the feeling, right? You walk from your living room into the kitchen, and poof, your signal just disappears. Now, you might think, oh, I just need a newer, more powerful router. But the real problem might be something much deeper. It might actually be about the entire blueprint of your network. And that brings us to this key concept, something called network topology. Okay, I know it sounds super technical, but trust me, it's pretty simple. It's really just the hidden blueprint for how all your gadgets are connected. And believe it or not, understanding this is the first step to figuring out why your current Wi-Fi might be failing you. So what is topology? The easiest way to think about it is like a map. Not a super detailed street map, but more like a big picture subway map that just shows you how the major stations are connected. In the world of networking, topology is just that. It's the map of how different devices, we call them nodes, are all linked together. Now, before we get to the cool new stuff, it actually helps to look back at the old blueprints. You see, these early designs for networks had some clever ideas, but they also had some pretty massive flaws that, well, they basically paved the way for the networks that we all use today. And you can see the problem here almost immediately, right? And what's called a bus topology, everything is hooked up to one single main cable. If that cable gets a tiny break anywhere, boom, the whole network is toast. A ring topology is a little better. It connects everything in a circle. But again, if that ring is broken at any point, the entire network just collapses. The big takeaway here is that both of these had one critical, fatal flaw: a single point of failure. Which brings us to your house. Because chances are you've got what's called a star network. It's by far the most common setup today. All of your devices, your phone, your laptop, your smart TV, you name it, they all connect directly to one central hub. And that hub, of course, is your Wi-Fi router. And look, this setup works pretty well, most of the time. But the star topology has that exact same single point of failure problem we just saw. So what do you think is its critical weakness? Yep, you probably guessed it. It's the router. Every single piece of data on your network has to flow through this one central device. It can easily become a bottleneck, slowing everything down. And of course, if that router goes down, your entire network goes down with it. Sound familiar? Okay, so this is where things get really interesting. This is where a whole new idea comes into play: mesh networks. And this isn't just about getting a bigger, more powerful router. It's a completely different, much smarter, and way more resilient way to build a network from the ground up. In a mesh topology, the entire game just changes. Instead of every device connecting to one central hub, the devices, or nodes, connect directly to each other. This creates dozens, sometimes hundreds of different possible paths for your data to take. It doesn't have to go through the center anymore. Now, there are kinda two flavors of this. You've got the dream scenario, a full mesh where every single device is connected to every other device. It's unbelievably robust, but it's also incredibly complex and expensive. And then you have the reality, the practical solution: a partial mesh. In this setup, nodes connect to one or maybe a few other nodes, giving you this great, practical balance between resilience and real-world cost. But of course, no technology is perfect. So before you run out and buy a mesh system, it's really important to weigh the amazing benefits against some of the real-world trade-offs. So let's break that down. Okay, the advantages here are seriously powerful. First, there's self-healing. If one of your nodes glitches out or your kid unplugs one, the network doesn't die. It just instantly, automatically finds another path for your data. They're also super fast because your data can take the shortest, most direct hop between nodes instead of having to go all the way back to a central router. And they are so easy to scale. Need to cover that new office in the attic? Just add another node. It won't slow anything else down. But it's not all perfect. You're buying a kit with multiple pieces of hardware instead of just one box, so yeah, the initial cost is higher. And while the apps have made setup way easier than it used to be, you're still managing more devices. Plus, since every node is basically its own mini router that has to stay on, the whole system can use a bit more power than just one single unit. All right, so that's all the theory. But what does this actually look like when you bring it home? I mean, how does a product you buy off the shelf actually use these big ideas to finally kill those Wi-Fi dead zones for good? So here's the thing you have to realize. That system you buy in a box at the store, it's not a true full mesh network. It's a really clever hybrid, a type of partial mesh. You'll get a primary node that plugs into your modem, and then these little satellite nodes that you place around your house. They all talk to each other to create that web of amazing connectivity. And here is where you actually feel the magic. Picture this. You're on a video call in your living room, connected to the node that's right there. As you get up and walk to the kitchen to grab a drink, the network is smart enough to seamlessly hand your phone's connection over to the kitchen node, which now has a stronger signal. You never notice a thing. The call doesn't drop. That dead zone is just gone. Now, here's a really key technical detail that trips a lot of people up. Your phone or your laptop, it doesn't become another node in the mesh. It's what we call a client. It just connects to the mesh. All the dedicated mesh nodes, they're the ones doing the heavy lifting, routing traffic and talking to each other. Your device just gets to sit back and enjoy the ride on that seamless, powerful connection they create.
So at the end of the day, we have to ask this question. With smart speakers, connected light bulbs, security cameras, our homes are getting smarter and way more crowded with devices every single day. That old star network with that one single router in the middle is really starting to feel the strain. So you have to ask yourself, is your network's foundation strong enough for the future, or is it maybe time to build a better blueprint?